have to hear this, okay? Because this is perfect. So I know a little bit about Jojo Rabbit, but Mom and Kim have no idea. We just set up everything, and what do you guys think Jojo Rabbit is about?
Something about a rabbit. That's what
I thought it was a sequel to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I thought it was his cousin, Jojo. I just threw it
Which
out
is
there.
great, and that's why
And
I love you guys.
epically wrong.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but I really wanted that on camera to show how genuine we all are, that you guys are, because you guys don't watch TV besides the news now and again and keep up with politics, but other than that, you guys don't keep up with
soapy?
social media. You don't do. And yeah, Mom's soapy, her soap opera. She calls them her soapies. So yeah, I'm really happy to hear that. I thought you would know something about it for some reason, but I don't know why I think that sometimes. Although you guys do know a lot more actors, and well, we all know a lot more now from this channel, but you guys usually catch on to actors quicker than I do.
Kim does.
Yeah, Kim's really good at it.
I'm a little bit.
Yeah, and you guys kind of pinpoint where it was from and who that person, like what show or movie they came from. So we are watching Jojo Rabbit. Thank you so much for requesting this and voting on our Patreon. Links below if you guys want to vote or check out our full reactions that come out earlier than on YouTube. This came out in 2019. It's a comedy drama film, and it's directed by Taika Waititi. Scarlett Johansson is in this. I know that. So you guys are excited about that. They got really excited.
That's right, yes.
I really wish I didn't say it until I started recording because the reaction was great. You know, they're like, what? She's in this? That's awesome. We are going to be watching on Amazon because it wasn't on any other service that we have, and we have pretty much everything. So unless watch it come out right after we watch this or something. So I will read the description here. It is a fanatical Nazi youth with Adolf Hitler as an imaginary friend is stunned to meet the young Jewish girl his mother has been hiding.
Oh. So it's totally not what I was thinking.
I know, it's like completely not what you guys were thinking. But that's what makes this fun. I mean, what an original idea to have a movie about this kid with an imaginary friend, Hitler.
Oh, sure.
Especially Hitler.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my
And Hitler is the director, which is funny. So him taking on that role, I give him credit because how much hate. I mean, this guy was a terrible person. Hitler, you know, like he was a terrible person, killed so many people. Sam Rockwell is in this.
Excellent. Excellent. We like him.
Rebel Wilson. I've seen her around. I don't know if we've seen her on the channel though.
Yes. Singer.
And Stephen Merchant. He's on The Office. He looks very familiar. Yeah, I haven't seen The Office. And everyone's like, well, you haven't seen that. And then Alfie Allen, love him. Theon. I miss Game of Thrones. I didn't like how it ended, but I really did like that series a lot.
Did.
I know. We were like so dramatic during it. So I think we should get into this. What do you guys say?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
All right, so we're watching on Amazon today. Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, man, you're ready.
Yeah, man.
Adolf.
Heil me, man.
Heil Hitler.
What? You can heil me better than that.
Heil me.
Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
That's it, you got it.
It's so funny, and I'm like, ah!
It's so sick, but it's so funny.
I know, you don't want to like say it.
Can two-eyed people do this?
What?
Oh, reckless.
Oh my god. You were right with the kids. Oh, God.
Oh, look at something.
Oh, right in the thigh.
Oh.
He looks around like to
I love killing.
Good.
Oh, no, don't tell me.
This
Come
rabbit.
on. No, come on.
Be free.
Oh, he's telling him to shoot.
Oh.
This is imaginary friends.
Shit.
Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
God, it's just like that.
He keeps wiping the face. Very observant.
Wooden door.
Was there a bed in there?
Yeah.
Oh, you're hiding somebody.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
fall down the stairs.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Oh no, he's so terrified.
Sheesh, that was intense.
What am I going to do?
Honestly, no idea.
Not okay.
I love how I was imagining Brian saw it first.
Stop offering me damn cigarettes. I'm 10.
All right, sorry, I'm stressed out.
Oh my
Let's
god.
talk like turkeys. Just use my backwards mind power trick, and everything will be fine. Ooh, I gotta go. We're having unicorn for dinner at my place tonight.
Jesus Christ!
You must focus at home.
Yes.
Good. Pain is your friend.
Oh my
Soon
god.
your leg will
Citizen had hand grenade himself. How's the leg, kid?
It's pretty much
Here,
healed.
hag me.
It only 80% hurts now.
She's burning something. What are you burning? What are you burning?
I am not that hungry. For now, I'm just going to chew on these grapes.
My face looks like a goddamn street map, woman.
Oh, wow.
Expect you to understand.
You want to dead, eh?
Yeah, I do.
She's gonna do it. Like a beer.
Don't you ever talk to your goddamn mother like that.
He's really good in this. That's good. Aw.
Okay.
I said to draw where Jews live. This is just a stupid
Oh,
picture in
his
my
teeth.
head. That's where we live. Dear Elsa, this is hard for me to say, but I don't want to marry you anymore. I'm not really in the resistance. I was lying. I'm unemployed and quite fat now.
He's so mean.
Don't open the door, but I actually forgot there was a second letter.
Oh, okay, so it's the makeup, right?
I need you to stay alive, even though I am truly unemployed and have nothing going on for me. Yours.
He wants a friend so bad.
Shoelace is undone again.
Yeah, they're always undone.
Come on, Shitla. Let's get the move on.
Oh shit!
You drink, own diamonds, learn how to fire a gun. You look a tiger in the eye.
Did you do that stuff?
I never looked a tiger in the eye.
Oh, what about
Oh my god.
Oh, you do have
Oh,
wonderful
jeez.
imagination, Andrew.
Safety on?
It's real.
Yeah, of course it's real.
And this
He's
is
stealing the
a
pencils.
Gatling gun mounted
Oh,
to a
for-
radio, which emits annoying music.
Oh!
What?
Oh! Cosplay!
Pan through the wire cut! Looking for your pots and pans!
Oh
Oh
no!
my god.
Oh, butterflies!
Oh boy.
Oh, he doesn't see anything.
I'm telling you to think about her.
Ooh.
May we come in?
Why?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Heil Hitler.
I'll hit left.
Oh, that's not good.
Why? Is she
I
like, she can go
suspect
outside? Oh, yeah.
Heil Hitler.
Hi, Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
Hi, Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
Hi, Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
Hi, Hitler.
And the
You
other
don't
guy's
really
gonna
think
do
it.
it.
Hi, Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
Where is your knife?
Wow.
Oh,
It's here.
why did she?
Oh no.
Papers, Miss Betzler. Quickly, please. We don't have all day.
Maybe he'll help.
How old are you in this photo?
I was 14.
Get a new photo. You look like a ghost in this one.
Wait.
Want to see it?
Look after your family. Look after this knife.
He's a good man.
Thank you for saving our lives. No.
Oh my god. Oh my god, no.
Oh no, he's gonna tie the
Oh my
shoelaces.
God, look at him. That's so tight. Oh, how sad.
Oh, he's so mad. No.
Oh, no, don't do that, Jojo.
Ooh.
Ooh.
What's the first thing you do when you're free? Dance.
Ooh.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Ew, unicorn, ew. I have another note. Whoa.
Say something. No, God.
Run.
Oh. Oh my God. Oh God.
Oh God.
Did I do that?
Oh, Jesus. Help me with this ammo. And how are we doing? Terribly. There are bigger things to worry about than Q's, Trudger.
See?
There's Russians somewhere out there. We have to stop them before they eat us and screw all our dogs.
Oh my God, all this stuff is... Oh my gosh.
Crap, crap.
Oh God.
Oh, no, his friend.
Oh gosh. Oh, kids.
Go give him a hug. Go, run! Let's go!
With that
Give him a
Oh my
hug.
God, huh?
Suicide. They're just tying the bombs to blow him up.
Die, devil! Stop!
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God.
God, what is crazy?
Oh boy. Okay. Bye-bye, friend. The German
Shepherds. Oh, this music.
Captain.
Oh, this is what he wanted to do with the music, right?
Oh, with the flary. I'd run home to Elsa,
Yeah.
if there is a home.
Aha, there's that one crazy guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Good.
You're good. You're okay, kid.
He's gonna make him leave.
No, I don't know this dirty Jew.
No, no.
Get away,
Oh,
Jew.
Trying to save your life, kid. Go, Jojo.
Oh,
Get out of here.
someone gets shot.
How ironic.
Oh. Yep. Wow, just moments to spare.
No, like that. Wow.
The thing is, I love you. Man, it's quite hot in here.
It's hot.
You too. Fuck off, Hitler.
Wow, that was
Good for
pretty
you.
good.
That was amazing.
Excellent.
Good job.
Very good.
Ready?
Dance.
Looks like it's going into dance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let everything happen to you.
That was
Beauty and
good.
terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. I applaud.
Excellent.
That was a great film.
That was great. That was
Wow.
fabulous.
Wow.
The mix of everything. That was incredible.
Yeah.
The emotions of it all. Like, I'm just in awe.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was,
It was fantastic.
yeah.
Rosie
Very good.
was amazing.
That's- she
Yeah.
What she stood for,
Yeah.
how she raised
Yeah.
him, how she took a Jew in and tried to save as many people as she could with her propaganda. She died for her cause.
Yeah.
Right.
And her husband was fighting for the cause too, and he didn't even know it because
Yeah.
he wanted to be such a Nazi.
And she had to go with the flow in a way where her son really looked up to Hitler. And it's shocking to see it in this movie, but it did happen like that. Like, so many people, so many followers of
Well,
his,
they
like,
brainwashed
really,
everybody.
yeah, really just loved him. And to
Yeah.
even see that in the beginning was actually good, to be like, yeah, right in our face. Like, people really adored him, loved him, like, thought he was
And
right
that was
in all
very
of this.
true in the beginning.
Yes, it
Even the
was.
Jewish people, yes, everyone thought he was going to be a wonderful leader.
And to see it through a kid's eye, like even many kids, like going through this, going to a camp and thinking a certain way. I mean, it's just so mind-boggling, and it happens
kids,
a lot.
you know?
Like even now, you know, with racism, so many things that people just are blind in a way. They just believe what they hear from other people, and
the craziness what they believe. Oh my God!
Like exaggerated through a kid's eyes too, on that they're demons, and even the adults looking through his book and saying, "Oh yes, they are like that. Yes, yes," and you truly believe that the Jews are demons and
they have horns and
and so for his mom to let him go to these camps because she has to, because if she didn't and he really looked up to Hitler, she would have looked suspicious. So she had to let that happen. To follow Jojo around, and I love the name Jojo Rabbit. I was curious. I'm like, is that really his last name or not? And then in the beginning, right away, when he had to kill the rabbit, and now he is the rabbit, and I love that idea. Beautifully done.
I love the relationship he and Elsa formed, and how she was giving him little lessons on Jewish people and what they are going through, and she turned it around. Just the little lessons every time he opened the door. She opened the door to see him.
That's right.
And inch by inch, she got to him and made him change his mind.
She was good like that because she knew how to talk his language, like about her being a demon. She was kind of coy talking about it to really catch his interest first, and then would have like little turns of, you know, humanizing it, but kind of making it scary, like the way he believes, to make him like true and be more open to it. And she handled that very well. You know, because I would just think she'd be like, I'm human too. You're actually the demon. And she did kind of say that a few times, but it wasn't like a full-on direct, I'm actually a good person and I'm human. She actually said, oh yeah, I am very demonic, and you know, we actually do these things that are evil.
We really
caves.
we can't eat Nazis because your head is so thick or something like that.
And what can kill us, like bread and cheese and stuff like that. Like some of it was more sarcastic to mess with him, but some things she wanted to say to make him listen better, you know, in the beginning. And I loved everything that she did there. Their interactions were very interesting the whole time. And I love Jojo for going, even from the beginning, he didn't want to kill the rabbit. So right away, he doesn't want to kill an innocent life. And even being a kid, they never killed before. So you have these older kids like saying, oh, well, are you ready to take a life? And they're sadistic about it, you know. They've probably already done that. I mean, they've already killed the rabbit too, like no problem. So but
and
actually
could have easily picked Yorkie next to him. I mean, he wasn't ready to say yes, you know. But Jojo was picked, and it was great that he didn't do that, and he showed courage. And it was great that I loved Adolf right in the beginning. He was
as weird as that is to say, like I was actually conflicted because he was such a bad man, and the director, that was the director, and to have him portray Adolf, I know, I was like, I shouldn't laugh at this, but it's so freaking funny. Like he did such a great job at that, and I kept telling myself that's Jojo's imaginary friend. Like how smart is Jojo to be like that, to actually argue his own self-conscience is like telling him a certain way to be as a German, as a Nazi, and it was just crazy. So he was like the best. He was so freaking funny throughout this whole thing, and it was perfect on how he left, you know, getting kicked out the window.
That's right.
That was great.
Jojo, got rid of him.
Getting jealous at first, like he's losing his friend, and I know it's, you know, by a Jew, but he was like jealous losing his friendship. It was funny, like all that went down like in stages.
It was wonderfully done. It was wonderfully done. It really was.
It was great seeing Jojo actually understand and learn that Jews are like people. They are people. There's no difference there. And he was brainwashed to think that way. So over time, he started seeing his imaginary friend as a bad person. You know, even having the unicorn head when he was hardly eating, just having stuff out of the garbage. So that was a cool.
That's right. And he slowly saw after his, especially after his mom died.
That was devastating.
That was absolutely horrible. But after his mom died, he had to go fend for himself and had to feed both of them. So, and he's like, how are we living a better life? How are we we're working for something it's not beneficial to us, and I am eating out of a garbage can, and exactly like you said, like a metaphor of him watching Adolf eat this unicorn head and him eating scraps. It's you know, the reality is not what you've been taught all your life.
Yeah. It's so sad.
It is.
It's obvious, like, how terrible all of this was to actually believe, just because you have this idealism of, okay, well, blonde hair, blue eyes, like, you have to be in this perfect image. Like, how psycho can you be to think, you know, you have to have a certain look to live. Like, you make that choice on, oh, well, I don't like how you look, so you're just weak and
even
you have
with
bad
himself,
blood.
He was. I know. Yeah, I mean, he was scarred because he was in training. Yes, he did something silly, but I mean, he was scarred because of an explosion, and he was kicked out. Oh, you're a cripple. You can't help. You know, you're just gonna do some propaganda stuff. Under the captain's wing. He's gonna be doing that.
But he couldn't really walk that much either. He had a really bad limp, so physically he couldn't keep up.
Yeah, and they were teasing him.
Yeah, and they were teasing. So they were mean that way. But just thinking how Hitler thinks, where how people have to be, because I don't think scars really matter, right? Like, I think it was mainly blonde hair, blue eyes, and just to think like that is just awful.
Right.
To be
and
like,
Jewish
well,
were bad.
you should die because you don't look the way you should look because you're not a pure blood or whatever. Like, and that's just awful.
Yeah, you're not a Nazi. If you don't believe my beliefs, you're gone.
Yeah. And we might get this in comments, but I actually said at one point in the beginning how the people in this camp are so mean. And I'm like, well, kids can be mean anyways, anyone can be mean, but they are also a little bit messed up, if not a lot, because they're like, the older kids were sadistic and they killed a rabbit no problem, and they're just making fun of Jojo for his scar.
That's right, they're teaching him to be like that.
Yeah, driving off, going into war, and being so excited about it. I mean, you're going off to, defend something
and
that's so freaking wrong.
It's really sad.
Yeah, so they're already so messed up about this thing that they were trained to know, and it's just really
like 49, the woman, like even her just giving them, explosives and guns and just go.
Right.
That was so funny, like how messed up, like
go for Hitler, bye.
Yeah, the comedy in this was great. Like the way he did this was just so perfect. Where I was like, holy crap! And her right from the start giving him a gun, and she's pointing the gun right at him. Like, what the frick? Don't do that! No. Oh my god! And then at the end, with that huge gun, she just walks right out. She's throwing all the kids in there. Like, I was like, what the? That's insane.
And just firing it. She didn't care where she fired it.
Yeah, wear this coat so no one else shoots you. And so it's very violent, very traumatic in that way, but the comedy was mixed in a great way.
It was great. It was fabulous because they're mocking the Nazis all along, which I loved.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. And Kim did mention at one point about Quentin Tarantino, right?
Yeah, it's just like a rated G, PG version of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Quentin Tarantino, different. Yes, he had a movie where he made fun of Nazis and the Bear Jew and everything. Mom didn't see that movie, Inglourious Bastards, but it was a very well done movie. And it kind of gave me that feel too. I love like them making fun of the bad guy, like really just going after it and showing like how terrible it was to a certain extent, but really to just live through these two kids who are on opposite sides and to learn from each other, especially Jojo.
Absolutely, and especially through the book. The book was really helpful in many ways when they were screening through the house, and they probably already killed Mom. Found out she was freeing. She wanted to free Germany. She was against the war.
So that's probably why, because I was trying to think like why they would be there.
It was because of Mom, and they wanted to see what else she had in the house.
That's true,
and they left the kids, and they thought Elsa was the daughter.
Thank God that other guy was there, Samuel. Thank God.
He was perfect. The captain was great. I mean, he saved them twice, really.
Definitely,
and he had great looks. Like, you kept seeing him in the background doing like shifty eyes, being like, okay, well, comparing or like, from what Jojo said about his book before, and now the sister saying that it was her book, and he knew. So I'm so happy twice that he saved her and Jojo.
And Jojo.
Yep.
Good for him.
So that was amazing to see that turn around. I mean, like, he was still a bad person because he probably killed a lot of people, defended Germany, but...
That's all he knew. That's all they all knew.
Yeah.
Right.
Even, what was his name? Finkel?
Yeah, Theon.
Theon
Alfie.
Greyjoy, yes. I mean, they all knew, they all were for the Nazis and, you know, all for Hitler. And even Rosie in the beginning, she's, you know, she was a tough cookie and she really played the part. And even the captain was scared of her. Says, you are going to give my son a job, you know. He has to work for you and you're going to, you you keep an eye on him and all that.
I really like Rosie. I mean, Scarlett Johansson was just so amazing in this movie. I love her as Black Widow, and I thought I would only see her as that in this movie, but she portrayed this character so freaking well. And it was so devastating with the shoes because they kept showing the shoes before with the dancing, tying the shoes, and like just to see that was such a shock, right?
It was, and she was such a great mom trying to teach her son that it's not all about war. There's love, there's going to be a time where you're going to have butterflies in your stomach and you're going to just want to dance. And those little moments with her son and riding the bike and being goofy and trying to be like, what her husband would be like. What would he say right now when they were arguing? She puts the soot on her face to pretend like she's dad. I mean, she was a very playful mom.
She was. She was really great, and just to see that relationship all the way through made it more powerful and sad when she was actually killed, and not to see her face, just the shoes. And the colored skin, like her skin was actually discolored and like a blue, like she's been there for a little, like at least a night, and so that was so sad. I do have to say, because we're always genuine with our reactions, I didn't see this movie. I saw parts of it. Ryan was watching it downstairs, and I did happen to walk in on that part, so I knew that was coming, and I was really sad about it. So I was already aware, and I was paying more attention to the shoes, and I was like, oh, how well that was filmed to really make us see, and for JoJo to see, because a lot of kids, even if you pay attention to detail, certain things like that, especially shoes and women's shoes, you probably wouldn't notice. To always like see that and include it in dancing, not just show it to make it obvious. Like, I thought that was well filmed, and it was so devastating to see JoJo, to actually watch the movie as a whole and go through and see that part was very sad and very, no matter how many times you probably see it, but it was
especially
very sad.
Even when she was making her son, she was making JoJo see the victims up there, their faces, like he wanted to turn away, and she made him look and say, this is what war is about. And then when it happened to her, and we knew with the shoes, with the bicycle, and she was dancing on the wall, you knew that connection, and it just made it even more hurtful to see what he's going through. And he lost his mom, he lost his best friend, and thank God he has Elsa now.
Thank goodness, because I was hoping the dad would somehow come back at the end and be there to help the kids, but it doesn't work like that in war, So they're on their own, and hopefully they stick together and are able to have a good life.
That's right. And Elsa found out too that Nathan died too, the year before.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
she told
Elsa's,
that, or told JoJo, Yeah, so that was really sad. And I knew, and we all knew that she knew that was JoJo writing those letters. So that was a great way to communicate, have a middle person, communicate the letters. So that was a sweet and different way to go about it. And it was more comfortable for JoJo because he didn't know how to express himself too.
No, he didn't. And he was a little selfish. He didn't want her leaving him after the war and after he lost his mom in the war. And now he's going to be all alone. He didn't want to leave her, and he lied to her and said, no, we won.
Yeah.
And
it was great going through those emotions with him because, like, you even caught on right away, Kim, like, oh, he doesn't want her to go. And, so, like, it's so scary for him, and that's all he has now. So that's, like, so scary on its own. What is he going to do? He's going to be by himself, and he needs something. He's still so young anyway. He's, like, 10 years old. That's still young.
He's 10 and a half now,
So I get why he did that, but I'm glad she did slap him, and he handled that well. And he's like, I guess I deserve that.
He did handle it well. He was. It was almost like he became a man that day instead of when he went to camp and he says, "I'm going to become a man now."
Yeah.
I think we all thought the same thing, that when he was looking at himself when he was 10 and a half, and it's all over. Now he's became a man. Now after all this tragedy.
Yep.
Sure.
I love how he was referred to as a rabbit.
Yes.
And how he was telling himself to free the rabbit, and there was a drawing of the rabbit in a cage with a key. Like he was the one who had to unlock, not that she's a rabbit, Elsa, but to let her free.
Yes.
And that was his initial goal from the start, but on the opposite end of things, like to really understand that we're all people.
Right.
And, you know, no one should be caged like that.
No one should be caged. And, you know, thank God for the captain who portrayed him as a Jew.
Yeah.
And how ironic is that? You know, he was trying so hard to work for Hitler and try to be one of his soldiers. And at the end, you know, the war's over and you were not killed because you had to portray yourself as a Jew, and they were just saying, "Get that."
In that moment, like it was so quick too. Like they were just killing everyone, like all the Germans. So he did it right, like at the right moment, and like no later, because he would have been dead. I mean, even the kids, it's crazy because they were soldiers too. And his friend, what was his friend's name again? Yorkie. Like I loved him, how innocent, and he was crazy.
I just survived it all. I kept surviving.
Yeah, I know, that was so funny. Like it was so crazy. I was so sure he was gonna die first of all, and I was like, oh my god. And he was so innocent, yet he had a gun. He kept going out to war and probably killed people. And that rocket launcher thing that he had, that he got. Hey, yeah, and constantly like not dying, but even talking to Jojo and not even flinching or hesitating, like you don't even know why you're going to war. He's just going with the flow, like what he's supposed to do. Because Jojo just told you, I'm hiding a Jew, and she's likely my girlfriend now or whatever. And he's like, oh, that's nice that you have a girlfriend. Like, and he heard him. It wasn't like he didn't hear the Jew part. He heard him and didn't care about it. Like he was like, oh, well, that's great. But yet he's fighting for Germany because he has no choice. But he just thinks that's how it goes. And you know, I was like, holy crap, it's just insane.
And he told Jojo, no, you don't understand. Hitler killed himself. There's a lot worse things than, you know, hiding a Jew. You know, Russia's coming, America's coming.
He's naming everyone,
Yes, right?
We're all doomed.
Yeah.
So you've got nothing going. You're fine now.
I loved his friend. Oh my God. So I'm glad he survived. And everything about this was just great. The acting was great. Samuel was cracking me up. The captain in the beginning with the team's always drunk. Like he was cracking me up. And Adolf, I gotta say, as weird as that is,
I never thought I'd ever say that.
Yeah, I loved his character in this as the imaginary friend, because it wasn't really him, but through Jojo, like he was amazing. And Mom, I know you understand, because that might come up, that was an imaginary friend, but I know you were taking that to heart too, just to bring it up. But how did you like his character as an imaginary friend, honestly?
I liked it. I liked it very much.
You did?
Yes, I did. But I had to understand. I had to get into it more because I just thought of Hitler. That's it.
Well, of course.
Yeah, so I want you to express that. Yeah, because I know.
I realize that was just an imaginary friend. But it was just, I saw Hitler. That's all I saw.
Yeah, and that was the interesting conflict with the whole thing, because one interesting way to like mix that up, where you have this tyrant that's a huge murderer and killing all these people, and they made him funny. Oh, Mom, I know she gets some. I know, and you know, but they made him so funny in this, like they making fun of the idea of him
the whole way through, and he was having little temper tantrums at the end, and you know, throwing the swastika at him, and he's like, "No, throw it and just kick him right out the window."
Yeah,
I mean, how
boy, that was really
was that?
It was great.
I loved Adolf in the beginning when Jojo was a more innocent character, like he was a more innocent child, and he was even sillier because Adolf was like, ah, and then just yelling.
Oh yeah, running together, and be a rabbit, be a rabbit.
Yeah, and he started to get more serious as we went on. Like he was still silly, but he wasn't like yelling and screaming at that point. He was doing like little kiddish things and mainly debating with him, and then it became more serious later. Although he did like rant, Hail Hitler or whatever in the beginning, and you know, I wanted to joke because after a while they kept saying it, but I'm like, I ain't saying that. But it was different, you know, and it was very entertaining in that way. Just incredible.
It was.
So very different from what you guys thought, because Jojo Rabbit, again, Mom and Kim are awesome. They hardly ever get spoiled by anything. Yeah, it's not Roger Rabbit's cousin. So they didn't see any trailers or anything for this, so they had no idea what it was about, and they just heard the name, and I thought that was great. I wish I got that, you know, on video when we were setting up, because right away Kim was like, is that a Roger Rabbit cartoon, like a sequel? I'm like, no, like that just came out in 2019. So yeah, very good. Acting was great, and wonderful job.
Excellent. I loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any powerful moments for you that really stick out?
Oh, yeah.
Biggest moment?
Yes. When Jojo saw his mother's shoes hanging down, that was really
that was really sad.
Yes. And
I think Rosie, you know, portraying her husband and trying to really make him connect that, you know, it's much more than just, you know, trying to romanticize, if you will, being a Nazi and thinking it's so wonderful. There's, you know, this is hard. You know, your dad is out, and what would your dad do right now if he was here? And she was, you know, role playing as her husband.
Yeah.
And that was really moving. And all the times Elsa came out and tried to have these teachable moments with him.
That's right.
Yeah, some are really scary too, like to really get him like, you know, terrified of her. And I think just to be different, like I guess like the beginning when Jojo ran with that bomb and the grenade and he blew up, I was kind of like, oh God, like this could be that kind of movie. Although I did know about Scarlett Johansson's character dying, but you know, like that was like a shock to me to see like, holy crap, he did actually blow up. So it kind of like stages you for what's going to happen, or like what kind of level of violence you're going to be seeing in this. Hence Nazis and Jews, like it's already terrible, but I was thinking it was going to be more of a comedy, but you had an equal amount of drama and comedy. And one big turning point for me was when Jojo really felt terrified when those Nazis came in to look over his house.
Yes, that was another very moving moment.
So that
like,
was
what
big.
are they going to do to him and Elsa? Because if they find her as a Jew, he is going to be killed as well, because he's harboring her. So
and her betraying the sister too was like a smart thing, and thank God the captain was there to confirm it when it was a lie. But I want to say the biggest moment was the mom, seeing the shoes. Like that was so devastating. That was really sad to see and real. You know, like that stuff did happen, and just awful. So be good to each other. Don't always believe everything you hear. Do your own research.
Yes, that's right.
Be kind to everybody.
That's right.
Be kind
People
to each
don't
other.
have horns, and they.
And we're all equal.
Everyone's equal. Yes. So we all hug. We need to give Mom a hug too.
I need a hug right now.
Yeah. Love you guys so much. This is us hugging Mom.
That's right.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to check out our full reactions, check the links below. You can see our Patreon. You can see our merchandise if you want to buy anything. Anything you do there really helps support the channel so we can create more for you guys. And we'll see you very soon as always. Bye guys.
Bye. Subscribe.
Please subscribe.